afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. We'll be starting today's lecture with the first chapter in our syllabus, which is Plant Nutrition, chapter 3.02, page 70 to 71. I'll wait for a while before I see students entering, then I'll proceed on with the classes. I don't have an attendance yet. If people have joined classes, please respond to the comment section. Okay, I can see comment section. Okay, I'll start. I think we've already given a lot of time to this, so let's focus on this. So we are going to focus on the chapters that will come first gradually. So the first chapter of the syllabus is chapter 3.02. It is plant nutrition. So most of the syllabus will contain plant and plant physiology in here. Physiology means we'll be talking about the structure and the function, everything related with plants. Now within this chapter, basically it talks about the nutrition the plant makes, the plant needs, and the plant will use. So let's proceed with that. So what is plant nutrition? So basically there are a lot of plants which have flower. However, some of them do not have. So whichever plants have flowers, they make seeds. And seeds are the places where all the organs are made with female and male organs. Now they make seed from which new plants are grown. So nutrition is needed for these organs to grow, develop specifically. Why is the screen black? Or it came late. The screen is not black anymore. I've transitioned again. Yeah, I've transitioned again. And okay, wait, there's something wrong with this. Okay, I am having a bit of a difficulty with this. Wait. Yes, I think now this will be better. What happened is the screen is not adjusted properly. That is I think this would work fine. Okay, now, and if you I don't understand why you cannot hear me, because I can hear myself fine. Yeah, the screen shouldn't be black. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, let's focus on this then. Now move on to the page 70 where we'll be talking about that, then I'll proceed to 71. Now basically from the following things that you have received, parts of a flowering plant. Now parts of a flowering plant are of the following. There's basically few things in a plant, especially flowering plants, that you know. Now you can ask me, Miss, why we are not talking about a non-flowering plant? In a non-flowering plant, there isn't a flower, and for to be a complete plant, to talk or describe about a complete plant, you would need a flowering plant. So a flowering plant, initially its first marker is a flower which contains female and male sex organs. These make seeds. Then below that are leaves. Leaves are the place where food is made for the plant via photosynthesis. For this photosynthesis to occur, you would require light, sunlight, carbon dioxide, air, water, minerals from the soil. So water and minerals are very essential for photosynthesis. The reason being, wait, I think, Acha, this screen is alright, I can hear you. Okay, that's fine. So the reason being is both water is needed for the photosynthesis, however minerals is needed for the growth of plants. So both comes together from the soil. Now sunlight comes from the sun, carbon dioxide comes from the air which is diffusing throughout the stomata. So we have read about stomata before, so knowing about now is not something like that you have not heard of. Next contains buds. Buds contain small, partly grown leaves or flowers. The buds protect these young parts. So buds are always in between new growth. This is place where new growth occurs. It can either grow into a leaf or into a flower, depends on what type of occasion it is needed for. Whenever it's flowering season, you'll be finding these will mainly grow into a flower. When there is a season where more leaves need to grow highest amount of photosynthesis, it'll be growing into leaves. The buds protect the young ones. So the buds are actually the outer layer of this. So these are the outer layer. Inside there will either be a leaf or a flower. So what happens? What happens is, whatever technical difficulties you're having, please refresh, because my streaming, my net, everything is alright. I have checked before entering the class. The streaming is alright. Most of the students saying it's alright. So whoever is having a little bit of bothering or disturbances, please, whatever you do is keep on refreshing it or move on to a smaller device. I think I have mentioned this thing in our last session. However, if there are new students who has joined this term, I would repeat it again. Please refresh or move to a smaller object like a phone or a tab to doing this class. Sometimes larger devices cannot carry potential internet connection. Okay, focusing on that, we will move on to the class now, and I will there is a mention I only reply to comments at the end of the class, so I won't be looking into comment section anymore. Now the stems has tubes in it. So after the buds come stems. The stems has tubes inside it. Some tubes carry water and minerals from the roots to the leaf. Other tubes carry food up and down the plant. Now there are names of these tubes. Okay, so right now I'll just mention you the name of it. Focus on this. This some tube carry water. The name of this some tube is xylem. I will pronounce it for you. XYLEM, xylem. So what you do is immediately on, if you have the book with you, write it. Just cut with one line this and write xylem, because you will be needing this word in the following chapter. So better you learn it now. So the some tubes carry water and minerals from the roots to the leaf. That some tube is xylem. XYLEM. And other tubes carry food up and down a plant. So that would be, wait, let me just find the proper spelling, because the spelling usually has a lot of mistakes people make. So I'll just find it out for you and just saying to you right now. Okay. It is this. Other tubes carry food up and down the plant. That other tube, you cut this line till here as well and write in here phloem. The spelling is PHLOEM. I'll repeat that again. PHLOEM. Phloem. Okay, so Um, these two are the name of the tubes. One carries water and minerals from the roots to the leaves, and other carry food up and down the leaf. Up and down, or you can write around the plant. It's the same sentence. After this, we go at the soil level. At the soil level, you will find that there is roots growing underneath the soil. So roots are used for various amount of reasons. So root has a main root and a side root, or it could also be called a lateral root, because lateral simply means a more fancy word for side. So focusing on that, so main root is that long hollow tube which is directly extending from the stem. However, the side roots are branches which are at the sides. Roots, the first job of a root is to anchor a plant in the soil. They also take in water and minerals from it. Most of the water and minerals are taken in through the root hairs. So these brush-like strokes, these are root hairs. They're very fine like hairs which allow diffusion, or let's say osmosis, of water inside the plant, and also actively absorbing minerals from the soil as well. So these were the parts of a flowering plant, and this is your labeling diagram. So you will have to draw this in your copy. So this is the labeling diagram. I'm mentioning it, and now whoever's doing the class, in that thing, just put labeling diagram. Just write L.D. That is labeling diagram, and you would need to draw this in your copy on a blank page, on the blank side of our lab copy. I'm mentioning it again. Okay, next. So this was a picture which was found in your book. It's written food factories of plants. So plants are known as food factories because they are the only living thing in the planet which can make their own food. Plants can make their own food, and the area where they make their own food is the leaves. So leaves contain high amount of what? Chloroplast, which we have learned from plant cells. A plant cell has chloroplast. Chloroplast is the area where all the photosynthesis is happening, and because of that, a plant can make their own food. And this is a drawing of a horse chestnut tree. So the name of the nut is a horse chestnut because it's very dark browny in color, and it's not found in our area. It's actually found in hilly, above the sea level area. Okay, so I can see 41 students have entered the class. How plants make food. Now, as we all know, plants make food by photosynthesis. And what does photosynthesis mean? It means that making food, making things with light. So I'll be breaking down what photosynthesis means. Okay, so photo means light, synthesis means making. So simply it means making things with light. Light here is talking about sunlight. So sunlight or light energy is used to make food from carbon dioxide and water. So what happens? Photosynthesis use carbon dioxide and water with the help of sunlight and chloroplast to make glucose and oxygen. Inside a leaf is a green substance called chlorophyll. It can trap energy from sunlight. So the area where photosynthesis is occurring is chlorophyll. It can trap energy from sunlight. labeling diagram, I have mentioned again and again, you will only label the words. If you want to write the entire thing, there is question answers for that, where you make a table and do that. And you're not a new student who asked this question. You know how labeling diagrams are drawn, don't you? You have also given the exam. You know how a labeling diagram questions are asked. So you asking these questions will be redundant. Carbon dioxide is taken into the leaf through tiny holes. Water is carried into the leaf from the stem through tubes. That tube is xylem tube, by the way. Again, I'm mentioning the name of that tube is xylem tube. So carbon dioxide is taken into the leaf through tiny hole. As we have seen, or we are going to see a plant cell or a leaf, cross section of a leaf, you will find there are pores called stomata. I think in class 6, whoever has done class 6 with me, you will know that there are pores called stoma, and lot of pores together are called stomata. So stomata is that tiny hole. Okay, so extension of that same thing, how plants are making food. This is not as same as class 6. It will have more information now as you're progressing. So what happens is light energy is trapped in the chlorophyll. Using that light energy, carbon dioxide and water combine to make a sugar called glucose and a gas called oxygen. Glucose is used for food. However, the oxygen, which is the waste product of plant, or I would say excess product of plant, it shouldn't be called a waste product because plants are also living and they also do respiration in order to survive. So let's not say it's a waste product. Only carbon dioxide is considered a waste product. Here, oxygen will be known as a byproduct. What does byproduct mean? Byproduct means product which is made simultaneously beside another product. So glucose is the primary product and so the secondary product is oxygen. So it's known as a byproduct. Oxygen is given off into the air and keeps air breathable for all living things, including the plant itself. Some of the oxygen stays back and excess amount of oxygen is removed with the help of stomata again. So stomata is actually the pore which not only takes in carbon dioxide but also gives out oxygen. Now, photosynthesis stops at night, but respiration continues. So plants take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So photosynthesis cannot occur without light, so at night time there is no photosynthesis occurring. At daybreak, which means at dawn, they're trying to say, photosynthesis begins to use carbon dioxide from respiration and produce oxygen needed by respiration. So this is the tricky part that you have to understand. At night there is no photosynthesis happening, so only the plants, living beings, they are respiring because they need energy to survive. So they are taking in the oxygen, breaking down the glucose they have stored inside them and using them as energy to survive. So breaking down into carbon dioxide and water vapor again. So what happens? That stays inside. Exactly when the sun peaks out and sun rays hit the plant, so exactly at dawn, whoever have seen dawn or whoever wakes really early, you'll see the sun is starting to rise up. At that time, photosynthesis, when the leaves get the first ray of the sun or the sunlight, it will start photosynthesis again, but not in very high amount since the light energy is very low. So they will also photosynthesize slowly. Since photosynthesis does start, it will start to use those carbon dioxide again from the respiration and start producing oxygen, which again gets used up. by respiration, because the speed is not high enough. So whatever is being made is also being used, and that point is known as a point where there is no extra molecules left in the plant's body. So when there is no extra molecule left in the plant's body, in either to release the oxygen or to take in carbon dioxide, because stomata is not opened yet. If you have to remember, it's not opened yet, because there is a point at daytime or the dawn time where everything, it's just when you wake up, you're not going to wake up and start running. You slowly wake up your system, start moving around, brush your teeth, you're gaining back the strength to do full work. So that's the same thing a plant does as well, because plant is also a living thing. As photosynthesis speeds up during the day, when it's like completely, the sun is completely risen up, it's glowing strongly, so the photosynthesis speeds up as well. It releases huge amount of carbon dioxide slowly from its body, because it's also respiring at that point, and also takes oxygen. For a small moment there, when the amount of carbon dioxide taken in to make photosynthesis and also the oxygen taken in for respiration, no molecules stay back, they all get used up. At that point, the gases, movement of gases in the leaf stops for a while, because whatever the amount of carbon dioxide is coming from respiration is immediately getting used for photosynthesis, and however amount of oxygen which is made by photosynthesis is completely being used by respiration, and there is no extra amount of gas to release in the atmosphere or to release in the leaf as well. So it's like you have a food in your plate, so continuously somebody is pouring food and you're continuously eating it, you're not leaving anything on the bowl. It's kind of like that. If you think of the situation like that, it's nothing more than that. So the gases get used up. As the gases get used up, for a moment there is no flow of gases inside the leaf, either inside the leaf or outside the leaf. It completely stops, and this only works out when the sun is completely at its best sunlight releasing moment, like let's say at 12 noon, where the sun is really bright and it's really hot. So it's actually that moment where this can be overcome, or this could be like at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So this is the time when the sun is completely on the horizon, glowing really brightly. This is the time when this will stop. So this only happens during dawn, because at dawn your sun is not completely risen yet, the sunlight is not strong yet. So whatever gas is there, either say carbon dioxide or either say oxygen, both of them is being used up. So this is the word equation of photosynthesis. So it's like this. See, the sun is glowing so bright that photosynthesis is occurring here. Imagine if the sun did not rise up yet to the horizon. There wouldn't be that much amount of photosynthesis that you can observe when the sun is really high and really glowing bright. So carbon dioxide is taken from the air, oxygen is given out. Water and minerals are taken in from the soil via the plant's root and taken up to the leaves with the help of xylem. However, glucose is made in the leaves and is taken to all parts of the plant via phloem. And the word equation, so this is a word equation. There is two types of equation. Always, if you have started doing the chapter in chemistry, or when you'll be learning in the future, you will remember there are two types of equations in science. One is word equation, where you will be writing in words, of course. Another one will be called chemical equation. In the chemical equation, you will be talking about chemical names, which we will go through as well. I will be providing you the notes, and in the notes you will be finding all of it. I'll be uploading the notes inshallah by today, but it takes time to get uploaded in the server. So after I finish this class, I will upload it probably till the next class, or maybe by Thursday you will get your notes on the server for seeing. So I won't be taking much time now to upload the notes. I do have all the question answers given at the end of the slide, which we will be seeing in the next class, but I will be also uploading the notes as the PDF form online as well, in case that you have backup of both. Okay, so the word equation is water plus carbon dioxide. The arrow, as you can see, has sunlight and chlorophyll. We have done this in class 6. I did mention this equation in class 6, but however, this is how you will write the equation from now on. If I've asked word equation, it will be written like this. If it was chemical equation, it will be H2O CO2 C6H12O6 plus O2. That equation will be coming in the future, so you'll see that. You don't have to write that now. For now, word equation. This is a drawing diagram, by the way. So in the drawing diagram, the information is that, see, bold letters, this one, the bold letters is not given. So this drawing diagram is a bit different than other drawing diagrams, because this information, carbon dioxide is taken in the air, oxygen is given out, you have to mention this. This is the only drawing diagram that you have to mention this writing. That's why I'm mentioning this to you, because this particular information carries mark. Sun giving light energy, you have to mention this. So this drawing diagram contains marks. Okay, now after, we all know that glucose is one of the primary factors of photosynthesis. So what are the uses of glucose in our body? So glucose has the following uses. Some are used straight away to give plant energy. So glucose is used straight away, some of them, to give plant energy, because we need respiration to live on. Plant is also a living thing, it needs respiration. Some is stored up as starch or oil, and the starch or oil are stored up in our stems, roots, seeds and fruit. When it is needed, it is changed back to glucose again. So for efficient storage, it is being stored as a starch or oil, but whenever it needs, it goes and comes back into glucose. Some of them are used to make cellulose for cell wall. So glucose is also used to make cellulose for cell wall. We have learned this in class 6. I made a diagram, a mind map. I think whoever did class with me in Mississippi or Michigan should be aware of it, that uses of glucose, there was a circle with all the information written. So it's just written in lines now. Some is used to make cellulose for cell walls. Some are combined with minerals and used to make proteins and other things plants need for growth. Okay, so the part that I was talking about, the place where completely carbon dioxide and oxygen is used up, that part is known as a compensation point. So this is the place we learn this word. So I talked about, like, look, if you look at this part of the area, dark, dawn, full sunlight, and this is known as light intensity. So light intensity means the amount of light, and this one is rate of oxygen and carbon dioxide produced. So during night time, which is dark, carbon dioxide is really high because there is no photosynthesis, and you will be only making carbon dioxide because plants are living things and they need to respire. So as soon as dawn is coming, dawn is when the sun is rising above the horizon slowly. So you see photosynthesis is somewhat starting, but it's not in a high concentration rate. So slowly it's peaking up, it's increasing its speed, rate of oxygen and carbon dioxide production. You see that this is oxygen production, this is the oxygen curve, this is the carbon dioxide curve. So as photosynthesis is increasing, oxygen is increasing slowly and carbon dioxide is decreasing slowly. And there this comes the point, and this is exactly still dark and dawn, some lights are peaking, so it's not completely sunlight yet, but it's dawn, so sun is out, photosynthesis is happening, slowly responding. And there comes a point where carbon dioxide and oxygen meet their concentration level or their amount. And when they meet, which means that both takes each other up, both eats each other up. What does this mean? It means that carbon dioxide molecule is immediately taken for photosynthesis and oxygen molecule is immediately taken for respiration, and there is no left. There is no left, because at whenever a cross intersection of anything happens, it means that point is known as point zero. So in here this is a point zero, because this and this is completely used up, there is no excess. However, when dawn goes to sunlight, you see the carbon dioxide is completely going so less, and whereas oxygen is going so high. So this is like wide contrast, and you see this such a contrast in the dark and in the full sunlight. And this point is known as a compensation point. This compensation point is also a drawing diagram. Actually it's a graph, not a drawing diagram. It's a diagram which is a graphical diagram. Let's say it's a graphical diagram which might come during question answer. If I ask you what is compensation point, you will be talking about this information. Photosynthesis stops at night, till here. So it's actually a broad question. This broad question contains a graph, like not your Bangladesh studies or history graph, a normal biological graph like this. So where you have to draw the curves for carbon dioxide and oxygen, and you have to talk about the compensation point. Yes, you have to practice this is not practice, you have to draw it in your copy. I think you're a new student, so yeah, I'll actually focus on that. You have to practice sounds wrong. You have to do what you have. Since I'll be providing all the notes, you have to write everything on your copy along with the drawing diagrams in your blank side of a lab page, like the blank page, and in the lined page you have to write all the question answers. I hope that clears out your question. I think you're a new student because I have not seen your name before. Okay, now we are here in the question answer part, which I will be leaving for next class. And I will be showing a video on next class for photosynthesis. It's extremely important you do see it. So I will, if there is anything that you have not understood, which there could be, because compensation point is very difficult to understand. Whoever have not understood anything, we have 5 minutes left, and I'll be answering questions now. Miss, in my book the diagram of there is no red or blue line. Should I draw them in my book? Yes, please draw them in your book. Take a screenshot of this, because you know what happens, some of the books do not have this diagram, but because of I think printing error, I won't say photocopy because photocopy is black and white, so printing error. So take a screenshot of this and immediately draw this in your book, and you will have to draw this in your lab copy as well, or wherever you're making notes, let's just say. Will we answer the book questions? Yes, we will be answering the book questions on next class, but not all the questions. Which questions, I will let you know next class. So that's why there's a sneak peek. There's all of these things here. With whichever questions we need to learn, I'll be saying it to you. So okay, quick, go on answering questions. We have 4 minutes left now. Did you understand every single point from here? All of you, whoever is attending class, if you understand, please say so. If you do not understand, please say so as well, because This chapter seems very small, but it's not, because when you'll be seeing the question answers, you will understand why. Okay, now we have 3 minutes left. This time the type of teaching is going to change, because first monthly we all learned, you learned, I learned teaching, the ways of teaching. Now it would be a bit different, because there are a lot of topics you need hands-on experience, so video is essential. Next class I'll be showing video for plant nutrition, especially about how photosynthesis is occurring, how it will occur, how the plant takes in water, how it's releasing oxygen, so you'll get a good idea about it. I'll try to look up if there is anything about compensation point, but it's highly unlikely there will be a separate video for that. So I'll try to find a video which is okay for a class 7, because most of the videos are for O-level related ones, and whenever I teach my O-level students, those videos are used, but it's not used for class 7 because it's too much information you would not understand. Miss, does the curve need to be accurate to the book? Yes, because the flat body, the curving, the compensation point, it's better what you do is you take a screenshot of this, because whoever doesn't have it, take a screenshot of it and draw it in your copy, because book it might be a little bit here and there, but in the copy you will do this perfectly. The study notes will reach, I am not sure whether it will reach today or Thursday night. It depends on the upload of the server, but I will be providing them. Study notes are provided both in the lecture. Are you a new student as well? Yeah, I think so, because here, see, all the information are here, and this will be the one that I will be providing in your study notes as well. So this I will be talking about next class, so you have to wait till that. Okay, will you discuss the chapter next class again? I'll be showing you a video next class again, don't worry. Okay, can you explain the compensation point in short? Okay, the class is over, I can't.